let me go there. Let me go there, ladies and gentlemen. So, Antigua and Barbuda seek U.S. review of visa restriction ban. Let's read, ladies and gentlemen. Let's read. Let's get it.
World St. John's, Antigua, CMC, the Antigua and Barbuda government has launched a St. John's, Antigua, CMC, the Antigua and Barbuda government has launched a fresh diplomatic effort to persuade the United States to remove the twin island nation from recently imposed visa restrictions and the newly established U.S. visa bond program.
Now, I was talking to Formosa Fantasy. Shout out to Formosa Fantasy on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you her YouTube, right? Let me show you her YouTube. So I was talking to her, right, about this TCN deal business. And she said, why doesn't the government, and I was talking to her especially about Mr. Gaston Brown. This is her page, guys. Wanna go check her out, see? She does a lot of makeup. She's a professional. You can book her. You get me a deal with. Wanna go over there. She have a lot of tutorials about makeup, hair, all different type of stuff, right? She's very busy, and she also work with artists as well. I won't say which artists, I won't disclose that, but she's very professional, you understand? So you can check her out. Alright, so that's her page on YouTube. When you go over there, go subscribe. Now, me and her when I talk, ladies and gentlemen, I'm say to her, I say, me I tell her what go on with the TCN deal, and me I tell her about, I'm telling her about Mr. Gaston. Well, I didn't tell her about Gaston Brown, but funny, she suggested this very thing, that the Jamaican government should use the TCN deal negotiation and have the America ease up on the visa application thing to make people get more opportunity. Me say, you know what, Formosa? That is a great idea. But guess what? This government don't have, I don't know if they don't have the mind, but they don't have the cahoots, the balls to make such a suggestion. America have them ticket. They are some lapdogs. Right? So you see what Mr. Gaston Brown government asks for? Seeking the US to review on visa restriction and ban program. Let's read. Let's read.
Program. Prime Minister Gaston Brown has written to U.S. President Donald Trump requesting a review of the measures affecting Antiguan and Barbudan nationals under Presidential Proclamation 10998, related visa restrictions and the Permanent Visa Bond Program. At the same time, Antigua and Barbuda's embassy in Washington has submitted a diplomatic note to U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio seeking an early review of the country's continued inclusion in the measures. According to the government, its appeal is based on the U.S. State Department's own explanation that the visa bond program is intended to encourage countries to strengthen information sharing, identity verification, document security, immigration compliance, and other security measures. The government said Antigua and Barbuda has already implemented significant reforms that address those objectives. Among the measures highlighted are tougher residency requirements under the Citizenship by Investment Program, biometric cooperation with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to improve identity verification and screening, continued cooperation with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in accepting nationals removed from the United States, and a willingness to assist with third country nationals within the country's capacity. The government also pointed to Antigua and Barbuda's low visa overstay rate of just over 1%, noting that no citizen has sought refugee status in the United States. It also highlighted the country's status as a stable parliamentary democracy and an upper-middle-income economy recognized by the World Bank. In his letter, Brown also emphasized Antigua and Barbuda's long-standing partnership with the United States, citing cooperation in regional security, intelligence sharing, immigration enforcement, and efforts to combat narcotics trafficking and transnational organized crime.
Mm.
The Prime Minister said Antigua and Barbuda has consistently responded to concerns raised by successive U.S. administrations and believes the objectives outlined by the State Department have now been substantially met. As a result, the government is asking Washington to reconsider Antigua and Barbuda's inclusion in the visa restrictions and visa bond program. The government's objective is not confrontation, Browne said. It is to ensure that decisions affecting the people of Antigua and Barbuda are based upon accurate information and upon the substantial steps our country has taken in close cooperation with the United States to address every legitimate concern that has been raised. We believe the time is now right for a review. The government said it remains committed to strengthening its long-standing relationship with the United States and looks forward to continued engagement with the Trump administration on issues of mutual interest and shared security. Follow the Gleaner on X, formerly Twitter.
Mighty God. Jamaica government can't talk so strong to the United States, you know? And when me say strong, I mean confident. They can't talk to them so strong. Some of the things that when Mr. Gaston Brown mentioned a while ago about his country, the fact that them not have a lot of people from them country where just run off and go to the United States and a big troublemaker. Hey, Jamaica not have no good reputation where that is concerned. Unfortunate. So you know that this government couldn't even broach that as a topic in any negotiation. But let's continue with Mr. Gaston Brown. Because Mr. Gaston Brown, sir, you do a great job for your people, them. Good leader. We just have wait for one proper leader from God right now for Jamaica. But wait for God to send him or her. Mm-hmm. Well, let's read, ladies and gentlemen. We're stuck with Andrew HOLNESS. Sad.
World News June 26. St. John's, Antigua, CMC, the Antigua and Barbuda Cabinet has endorsed the recommendations and negotiating position outlined by Prime Minister Gaston Browne regarding ongoing discussions with the United States on accepting a limited number of non-criminal third country nationals and refugees. In supporting the Prime Minister's position, Cabinet noted the long-standing and mutually beneficial relationship between the two countries, adding that the United States remains one of the country's most important strategic partners, with cooperation spanning trade, investment, tourism, security, education, and development assistance. A statement issued after the cabinet meeting said Browne had informed ministers that negotiations with United States officials have resumed following the submission of Antigua and Barbuda's counterproposals and that constructive dialogue continues between the two countries. The statement said that Antigua and Barbuda's ambassador to the United States, Sir Ronald Sanders, is leading the negotiations on behalf of the government and is actively engaged in advancing the country's interests while ensuring that any agreement reflects Antigua and Barbuda's laws, values, and national priorities. Cabinet was further advised that Antigua and Barbuda has made it clear that it will not accept any individuals with criminal backgrounds and that comprehensive due diligence must be conducted in every case. It said that the government has insisted that detailed reports be submitted on each individual, including information relating to criminal history, security assessments, and health status, before any consideration is given to admission into Antigua and Barbuda. The statement quoted Browne as emphasizing that the government must retain the sovereign right to determine who may enter and reside within the country. Cabinet was informed that Antigua and Barbuda has indicated a willingness to consider accepting a limited number of persons annually, estimated at between 14 and 16 individuals, subject to the strict screening and approval processes established by the government. Consideration would also be given to skilled individuals whose qualifications and expertise could contribute positively to national development and economic growth, the statement noted. Meanwhile, the cabinet agreed that Antigua and Barbuda should continue to engage constructively with the United States administration on matters of mutual interest, including migration and border management issues, while ensuring that the country's national security, public health, and social interests remain fully protected. The government remains committed to maintaining strong diplomatic relations with the United States and will continue to pursue discussions in a manner that reflects Antigua and Barbuda's sovereignty, humanitarian values, and responsibility to safeguard the welfare and security of its citizens and residents, the statement added.
I'm here talking. I was saying that I was saying that Kamina Johnson Smith, ladies and gentlemen, she came out saying that, you know, the government have to speak to the United States whether or not to release the MOU. But look at the Antigua PM. He released the discussion and everything to make sure that the way how he did it, they wouldn't have any issue with the MOU because you would know what the MOU would be because he made it plain in what he released in Parliament. This is what we're accepting. If the government of America cannot ensure these things, we will not be in an agreement with them about any TCN. He laid all the cards on the table for everybody to see. That's what they call transparency. That's what they call accountability. But our leadership hides everything, ladies and gentlemen. It's sad. It's sad. You understand? Someone wants to say big up to Mr. Gaston, bro. Me just go drop in the brother in that one. What him name? That Vaz. Yes. Vaz demerit point system implementation being reviewed amid concerns. Alright? Me could hear what go on, so ladies and gentlemen, because me could have swear me did hear him very strong on this the other day in our press conference.
Minister of Transport Daryl Voss says a review of the implementation of the demerit point system is underway amid concerns about the proposed structure. In a statement today, Voss noted that a team from all relevant ministries has been meeting to conduct the review, with the initial report due next month. Their preliminary report, due in September, will provide the foundation for the government's final decisions, including, if necessary, the establishment of a revised implementation date that is in the best interest of the Jamaican people, he said. He stated that the government is committed to ensuring that any policy or legislative action relating to the Road Traffic Act is guided by sound legal analysis, established precedent, and the overarching objective of improving road safety while ensuring fairness in the administration of the law.
So may I say, if the government is committed to ensuring that the policy or legislative action related to the Road Traffic Act is guided by sound legal analysis, why are you doing a review now? This is not an old policy. This is a new one. Why didn't you formulate this thing properly before you put it out? Hmm? You see, if the law was like, listen, the policy and the law just put out and you're having all these problems, it tells you that it was not very well vetted or discussed. You know, them have a thing with them called um what the terminology is not brain drain, but when you have random ideas throughout there and then you sift through the ideas to see which one makes more sense, right? But it doesn't look like these people that are getting paid all this money because they are the best and the brightest, but it doesn't appear as if they are the best and the brightest. If you were to create some laws, wouldn't you go and speak to the road users, both private and also, you know, the taximen them? Wouldn't you sit with them and discuss them at least? Yeah, find out if them think this is reasonable, right? I'm not saying to cover to them, but if you really want to know, I think that is a good start right there, ladies and gentlemen. Instead of you pushing this out, and when you see, this government is a reactive government, you know. They are not a proactive government. They put things on the people and they do it time and time again. And when the people lash out, you see them pull it back. And then put it in one naughty corner until they decide to put it back again. That's how this government operates. Them really bagga bagga. Them really bagga bagga with you.
Law. The review will also include issues concerning outstanding traffic tickets and the legal and policy implications of any proposed amendments. This review will include extensive consultations with the relevant stakeholders, including the judiciary and other key institutions, to ensure that the government's position is legally sound, practical, and in the best interest of the Jamaican people, the minister said in the statement. Was also acknowledged calls for an amnesty in relation to outstanding traffic matters. However, he said any consideration of such a measure must be guided by the existing legal framework and established precedent, rather than differing interpretations of what an amnesty should entail. Further, he said it would be premature to make definitive pronouncements before the review has been completed. Once the review has concluded, the government will outline a clear and comprehensive position, including any legislative or policy changes that may be required, he said. The government announced in
Like and
June that the
share, guys.
implementation of the
Please.
demerit point system for traffic violators will take effect on October 1st. Under the Road Traffic Act 2018 and the Road Traffic Regulations 2022, the accumulation of traffic tickets for various offenses, including speeding, will result in demerit points being added to a driver's license. If a driver accumulates demerit points above a certain threshold, his or her driver's license may be suspended or the driver may be required to pay a fine. After 15 months, if a driver has accumulated fewer demerit points than are required for a license suspension, the points will expire and the record will be cleared. However, the announcement was met with concerns from stakeholders, including members of the opposition, who called for a delay in its implementation, citing, among other issues, a massive traffic ticket backlog.
Me say, the people them know what to do, man. Don't know what to do. Don't know exactly what to do. Because people been not telling you. Peaceful protests. Nobody leave them yard. Nobody. That's all enough for them. Like, share, and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen.